Yo, what is going on YouTube? This is Josh over here at American AF Dumpster Rentals in Dallas, and we are on the grass. We are picking up a 30. We do not have a very busy day. I mean, I've got a ton of paperwork I'm doing. Daniel's got a busy day, which is always good, but we're picking up one of the I only have one more that has to go into rotation. I've had my new 30s over here, and which is a good thing because that means we have all of our 30s out except for 3 right now. These 2 that haven't gone into rotation yet, and one that has a bunch of garbage over there that I don't feel like going to the landfill and dumping out. So I'm gonna add this one to rotation and deliver it real quick. But yeah, we're up and at 'em. David was working on the video for the Dumpster Expo. We're gonna drop that right now on this video for you guys. You guys can check it out. But don't forget, it is on November 7th and 8th. I am super excited for this year's Dumpster Expo. It's gonna be banging. We've already got the location squared away. It's gonna be at a rodeo. So feel free to bring your horses or your bulls. Make sure you bring your cowboy boots. We are almost finishing up, wrapping up with a big project that we did, that we've been working on. It's a big roofing job, commercial roofing job up in Dallas. That one right now is sitting at right at 30 swaps, 30 dumpster rentals, all 40 yards except for a couple concrete except for a couple concrete jobs. But yeah, that one's wrapping up. So I think we'll be finishing that probably by the end of this week, which is unfortunate because that was a very, very good job. Lots of heavy dumpsters, and our trucks were able to, thank goodness our trucks were able to handle them with no problem. And we out. Oh shit, I forgot. Let's go back. What happened?
So what?
What happened? Different. And it's so annoying. And when it's a big truck. Okay.
So there's trees around, but I can keep you off of them.
Okay.
So if you want to pull in straight, I'll show you where you can turn around and then back into the spot.
Okay.
Then when you're picking it up, you'll definitely need it to be pointed where you can back into it to pick it up.
Okay. All right. We'll give her a shot. Yeah. Yeah. Ain't no thing but chicken wing, you know how we do. I'm Daniel D to the double V. That was terrible. Yeah, I got you. And I got the squeeze. How far back do they want me to go? Yeah, it's as far back as I'm willing to go. I'm not going to scratch up my truck.
Back it just up until the tree.
It's already scratching up here, all these branches and everything. So I don't know if y'all have a way to cut those branches off or something like that, but this is kind of tight. Let me straighten this up a little bit better. All right, you're all set. We just ask that you don't put anything above the rim or any wet paints either, please. All right? You're set. Have a good one. So, vacuum plate. I don't know how to explain it. But behind the pit, yeah, behind the bar, they all have a backing plate. And so, answers from Camp Concept either. This does not help at all. I think maybe I'll just pay my lawn guy to cut their grass. Just so it looks good until it sells, because this is ridiculous. So, I don't really like the way the tarp is looking. It's all going on one side. It's rolling kind of weird. And part of it is that it's sliding that way. Not sure. I'm gonna try and slide it back this way, see if that helps. Somebody put this trailer right in the middle of the damn shop. Like smack dab in the middle of the shop. Look at this. I can't even walk through here without breaking a shin. That's more my height right there. I honestly don't like how sloppy that looks. What is that popping noise?
If anyone can think what the problem is on this, comment down below.
Does it have to be re-geared? There's something I can do to, not sure. I mean, it's just a little bit off, but enough where it's kind of annoying. I'm not sure what's up. So for all of you guys out there that know more about this stuff than I do, let me know. So I've got a customer who's got issues with a trailer that we sold him. Trying to figure out what exactly the issue is. I've made videos before on how all different manufacturers, all different hooks are different. Yes, there's an ANSIE standard, but not one of them go by it. And let me tell you, when you talk to one guy, they're pointing the fingers at the other guys. I was literally at Waste Expo last week, and I'm just gonna say it out there because I have zero ties to these guys at the end of the day. I mean, I'm just trying to figure out what works best for us as dumpster guys. And I had Stellar pointing fingers at Palfinger, Stellar pointing finger at Keystone, Stellar pointing finger at Ruble. I have Palfinger pointing fingers at Stellar, Palfinger saying they do everything right, Stellar says they do everything by ANSIE standards. I didn't talk to Swap Loader, but obviously Swap Loader does their own thing. So at the end of the day, we're the ones that end up getting screwed over, right? Like, things are not the same. Hooklifts are not the same. These dumpsters are not built the same, okay? I have issues with the Stellar because the Stellar damaged one of my dumpsters, okay? And we're gonna post some pictures of that right now. But it was the way I grabbed it. I grabbed it at these Hooklifts are meant to be grabbing dumpsters at different angles. The way I grabbed it with a Stellar, it got caught in the corner. And so it damaged one of my dumpsters. And I'm gonna show you the cutout. I made two different cutouts because nobody can understand what I was talking about. So I made it, and I talked about it during the live, but never on the channel right now. And this is time to talk about it. I have two different cardboard cutouts, one of the Stellar, one of the Palfinger. And I'm showing you here how you can grab one, how one will hit every single time on the wall, even if it's straight on or at a corner. And again, what I did was I grabbed it, one part caught the corner, and literally it got stuck. And it was a very heavy can, so I damaged my dumpster. I bent the pin, and I also messed up this corner, bent up the A-frame, because it was pushing in here while it was pushing down to pick up the can. And so it got caught, messed up my can. I think that Stellar, Palfinger, Swap Loader need to stop pointing fingers at each other, and they really need to get together and figure out one standard. Okay, so here we are a couple days later, and I was watching back the video, and I wanted to clarify certain things, right? So I really wanted to make it clear what the differences are between the Palfinger Swap Loader. I'll put the Palfinger Swap Loader on one side and then the Stellar on another side, right? We showed you guys how the hooks worked with the cardboard cutouts, right? How there literally is now Palfinger and Stellar. As far as ANSIE standards is concerned, let's start with the width of the rails. The width of the rails, distance between inside surfaces of the long rails, this is ANSIE standards, is a minimum of 36 inches, okay? So we're gonna measure the inside of the rails. We're sitting at right about 37.5. And the maximum distance outside rails, outside surfaces of the long rails, is supposed to be no more than 41 inches. So right there we're at 40.5. Okay. This is ANSIE standards. The width, the long rail width is 2 inches. Minimum 2 inches. Lift bar diameter minimum is 2.5 inches, which is what we have. Okay, so right now so far we are at minimum for ANSIE standards. This is where it gets kind of tricky, right? Because ANSIE standards says distance between the back of the lift bar and the rear of the A-frame, the minimum, obviously the hook height should be 54 inches if you're doing a 54-inch hook, or 61 3/4 if you're doing a 62-inch hook. And then the back of the lift bar to the A-frame should be a minimum of 7 3/4 inch to a maximum of 8 1/4 inch. That's what ANSIE standards are. Here's where it gets tricky. I am not at 7 3/4. I am at, let's say, 6 inches. So even a minimum of 6 inches. So this is where it gets tricky, because Keystone built these cans for me based off my Palfinger. Palfinger says 6 inches behind hook. Okay, so Palfinger is 6 inches behind hook. That's for a T50 Palfinger, which is equivalent to the Stellar I have. Okay, so a swap loader says 6 3/4 inches. This is why these cans, all my small cans, my 15s, my 20s, my 25s that were built for the swap loader, that work for both the Palfinger and the swap loader, this is why these cans work, because it's right around 6 to 6 and, what did I say? And 3/8 inch. Here's where it comes tricky. You saw what ANSIE standards were. ANSIE standards are 7 3/4 inch to 8 1/4 inch. Here's where the issue is. I've got a Stellar. Now Stellar told me they did everything to ANSIE standards. If it was ANSIE standards, this neck wouldn't be this long. But according to Stellar's own paperwork, the Stellar's own document here, the NXT52, this specific hook, right, requires 10.25 inches from the back of the lift bar, which is a 2.5 inch bar. So from the back wall to the center of the pin, it needs 12 inches. And basically it's saying 10.25, so 10 1/4 inches, the pin should start here. So you need all this space. Okay, you can see the difference in the hook right here. I mean, you know, you've got a hook that's no more than 11 1/4, well, let's say, yeah, from 11 inches, right? Maybe 11 1/4. Okay, the opening is only 4 inches, 4 1/4 inches. Right here we said 11 1/4. This one's about over 16 inches, or right about 16 inches. And the opening is 5.5. Stellar tells me that they requested this from people because they were having a hard time picking up cans with that. I'm sorry, if you need more than 4 1/4 inches to pick up a can, you should probably go back to cable or do something else, because you don't need that kind of room. You don't need this kind of space. You don't need this kind of neck. I mean, again, Stellar says they're going to ANSIE standards, or that's all they do. That's what they told me at the show. They kept saying ANSIE probably 20 times in our conversation, and yet this is not ANSIE standards. Those aren't ANSIE standards, to be honest with you, but at least those work with each other, right? The Palfinger, swap loader, and I believe the multi-lift, they all work with each other. This one, while it works, you have to do a lot of configuration, and you're going to end up damaging your cans. And it's going to be, if you're in a tight spot and you got to pick it up at an angle, it's very difficult to do, because it's going to damage your cans unless you just literally grab it by the tip and then pull it somehow to get it nice and straight. This is one issue. And again, I hope people are seeing this and understanding where I'm coming from, because Stellar basically, at least the guys at the show, or one of the guys at the show, is like, oh, that's we've never heard this being a problem. Like, this is the first time. And so this cannot be a first time. I mean, just look at the difference between the hooks. I get it, they're not the same company, you shouldn't be, but I'm the same business, right? I'm running the same cans. I was told this would work with my cans, and while it does, it damages my cans if I'm not being extra careful. Me as the owner operator, no problem. If I'm gonna put drivers behind here all the time and have to explain to them how to, they have to be super extra careful, I mean, that's gonna be an issue for me down the road, right? This hook is way too long. How do we fix this? I need a shorter hook. Plain and simple. I would like Stellar to say, hey, we're going to come out with a shorter hook that's more compatible with everybody else in the industry. Or at least if you're citing ANSIE and you're saying it's ANSIE Standards, which is the standard that all hook lifts go by, at least at minimum go by the ANSIE Standards. This should not be more if we're only requiring 7 1/4 or 7.5 inches behind the pin, not 10 1/4 inches. That's insane to me. The next thing that I have an issue with is the rails on a dumpster, we said earlier, should be 2 inches, right? If the rail on the dumpster is only 2 inches, why do we have a 4-inch plate here? I mean, that's 2 inches on both sides that I've got extra play on, which is why it slides side to side. All right, Palfinger opening. Palfinger opening is 3 inches. Okay. It also has, I mean, I also, to be honest with you, like how high up this is, so that the rail, if you're a little bit off, will slide in. That one, not so much. I've got about 1 inch, probably 1 inch lip. This has about a 3 inch, right at 3 inch or 2 3/4 inch lip on both sides. So the dumpster sits a lot more snug in here than it does in there. We talked about the width, outside to outside and inside to inside, right? Minimum is 36 inches, maximum is 41 inches. All right, so inside to inside minimum should be 36, outside to outside maximum should be 41. And the maximum here, yeah, the maximum is 42. Minimum, go inside again, minimum should be 36, and the minimum here is 34. All right, let's go on that, the Palfinger. Minimum is 36, is right here. So basically they're sitting inside rail, the inside rail is 37, and now go outside, 43. So about a 4 inch difference. And over there was what, 6 inches? 6 inches difference. So where am I going with this? At the end of the day, the issue that I'm having, right, and I know that other Stellar guys are having it because I'm getting the DMs, but the issues that I'm having is that the dumpsters just slide too much side to side. And honestly, I mean, that kind of tells you right there why. First of all, these aren't closed enough. They're not snug enough on the Stellar. They're not snug enough. I mean, they're just too wide. Why is it that wide? Why is it 4 1/4 inches wide when it's only, the rails only should be 2 inches? 2 inches. All right, so at the end of the day, Stellar did send me these skid plates, right, to replace the rollers because I was saying that the dumpster slide too much to the left and to the right. And so the skid plates don't help it. At the end, there's not enough friction. It's just metal on metal, first of all. And second of all, there's not enough friction on it. And third of all, it's just too wide in my opinion. Again, they're 2-inch rails on the dumpsters. At most 3 inches is all we really need. We don't need a 4-inch skid plate. And here's just living proof of it. You've got wear marks on this skid plate, right? You've got wear marks right here where it's literally sliding back and forth. Again, this is exactly 3 inches of wear marks, what we're talking about. Like, I didn't measure this beforehand. This is 3 inches of wear marks. It's basically got 1 inch too much. You can tell it's not even touching on this side, but that's what's causing it to slide back and forth, right? At the end of the day, it needs to be more snug. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. And I'm not knocking Stellar. I mean, I really do like the Stellar. I like the Hooklift. I just want it to work better for us, for our equipment. And I would like for them, hopefully, to take feedback and constructive criticism a little bit better and say, instead of telling me, hey, well, you're the only one that's complaining about this, say, well, let's look into this and let's try to make a solution. Because if you're having these issues, I'm sure other people are as well. It's not life-threatening. I do feel it's a little bit unsafe. I would like it just to be more snug, and I don't think it's going to take much to get there. I just think that it needs to be re-engineered or re-looked at. That's all. So at the end of the day, that's all I've been saying for the last few months when I've had this. Now we're starting to see and I've got all the documentation, the paperwork to show the differences. And the biggest difference again is while Palfinger and swap loader may not be ANSIE standards, neither is Stellar. So let's just meet in the middle and try to come up with a solution that works for all three of them instead of a hook that needs even more spacing. Wear marks right there. It will not go past that. Right? That stops it from jumping over the hook. If it's jumping over, you have an issue. Whether it's the hook itself, more than likely it's going to be your cant. And if the hook is too long, like my Stellar, well then you're damaging your cants. Alright, so I got tired of the Cybertruck already. I traded it in and I got the little sports car. The little Model S Tesla. This thing is fast. It obviously thinks I'm not here. Let me pull out the key. Bam! So, the Model S, this thing is on launch. You put this thing on like drag strip mode and then you launch it and it's like 0 to 60 in like 2.3 seconds. Anyways, this is not a Tesla channel, but if you want to drive a Tesla, if you've ever wanted to drive one, if you've ever wanted, go test drive one and then tell me what you really think. Not in all reality, like I'm getting couple little things fixed on the Cybertruck that's covered by warranty, and then we're gonna get it wrapped. So you probably, like I said, you won't see that truck here until after the wrap. This is actually a loaner from Tesla with unlimited charge, and like I said, it's fast. Like it's fast. The Cybertruck is fast, but this thing is actually super fast. I just wanted to be like David and Daniel and drive a little black car, since they both have like little black cars. I felt left out. So anyways, guys, we are done. Don't forget the Dumpster Expo, November 7th and 8th, www.dumpsterexpo.com. We are expecting it to be a huge event. Already got vendors signed up. Already got a good amount of attendees have signed up. Pre-event mixer the night before is daggone near sold out almost. So if you want to be a VIP, if you want to go to that pre-event mixer like we had last year, you're going to want to sign up early. You're probably going to want to sign up in the next few weeks because I'm pretty sure that's going to sell out pretty soon. It's a limited amount of tickets because the place is limited as far as size. Other than that, we'll see you at the show. Don't forget to like, subscribe, smash the notification bell. We out.